Blackburn, baby! Hello, I'm John Hammond, the announcer for the Storm. Welcome to the official Storm video. Over the next 70 minutes, you're going to see some of the highs, maybe one or two of the lows from the 95-96 season. Hope you enjoy them. It's hard to believe, isn't it, when this place is so quiet that within a couple of hours it'll be full of people all cheering on Manchester Storm and having a great night. Who'd have thought when I first came in here, which was well before the start of the season, that it would be such a success? People have said, John, what's the success down to? Well, it's down to lots of things. Firstly, of course, a great team and a great bunch of guys as well. If you've been at one of the social events with Manchester Storm, they really are a terrific bunch of guys. It's also been down to the people behind the scenes making it possible. That's everybody from cameras and light and sound and all the rest of it. But I think a lot of it is down to you, because you come in here, you enjoy it, you enjoy the atmosphere. The place becomes electric. You cheer, the posters, the banners, the lot. It all makes Manchester Storm something really, really special. How did it all start, though? Well, have a look at this.
Built adjacent to the Manchester Victoria train station, planning for the magnificent 9X Arena began in 1988 as part of Manchester's bid for the 2000 Summer Olympiad. At a cost of £56 million, the largest indoor arena in Europe began to take shape. Based on the American-style circular spectator arena, this purpose-built stadium would be home to everything from Pavarotti to the World Table Tennis Championships. Its tiered viewing in the round would provide a unique view, offering an impressive and awesome setting from which to witness some of the greatest names in sport and entertainment, and of course, Manchester Storm.
This rink is by far the best in Europe, and probably in the top 10 right now in North America.
The arena, the crowd, the atmosphere, playing the game, yeah. Better than any other arena.
Manchester's the best place to play in England as far as I'm concerned. I've been to all the other arenas, and obviously this is one of the best venues in Europe for that matter.
We built the building, obviously, and it was always built with having two resident sports teams in mind, one of which was going to be the basketball team in the shape of the Manchester Giants. And the Manchester Giants owners, the Cook Group, had the franchise for Manchester Ice Hockey in the shape of the Trafford Metros. They decided to go down one route and concentrate all of their efforts on basketball. We subsequently decided to go out and see if we could find a sponsor or an organiser for the team, somebody to take it over, because we are venue managers, we are not team owners. Nobody stepped to the plate. We decided, why not? We have the necessary experience, we have the building, we have the staff. Let's go out and create our own team. Great, nice blank piece of paper, where do we start? It was a challenge. The first thing to do was find a general manager and a coach who could take it from zero and build the best team the country's ever seen. We decided at a very early stage the man that we wanted was John Lawless. We attended the Wembley Championship finals on the proviso that we would come away with the coach and general manager. Luckily for us, and I say that with due respect to the Cardiff Devils lost. We approached John. John said yes.
I heard obviously about Manchester and the arena and whatever, but after we lost in the semi-finals during the Wembley playoffs last year, after the press conference and all that, I wasn't that down. We lost in the penalty shootout, so it was kind of like a lottery. Somebody asked me, said, there's a couple gentlemen that want to speak to you outside, and I thought, another interview, here we go. And they said, John, we're Lee Eskelson and Dave Bigger from Manchester Arena, and I said, yes. Great. This day isn't going to be too bad after all.
And so the team had a coach. There were other ingredients, though, that needed finding. Some players and a name.
We went from the mighty Dogs to the Lightning of Manchester, back again to the Mavericks, and we seemed to keep coming back to this single name. And myself, John Lawless, and the general manager of the building decided, that's it, we've messed around enough, let's go with the name The Storm. The Storm was born.
The first signing was Daryl Lipsey. I knew that I needed an assistant, and I needed somebody with experience in knowing the day-to-day runnings of a team, somebody that I could sort of trust and bounce things off of. And we were going to one of my last events in Cardiff. I organized a golf tournament, and Daryl was invited as a celebrity. And when I was there, my wife said, what about asking Daryl to be the assistant? And I thought, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So I have my wife to thank for that one, and so does Daryl.
I knew John was putting together a really strong team here in Manchester, and you know, I knew we were going to be successful, but I didn't think it would have went as well as it did.
Byram was sort of the third import that we had to find, and you know, I think that was towards November. We finally got him over here, and that was a good signing because it gave us that another dimension, I think, offensively. You know, because it took pressure off Hilton and they combined well. And then defensively, I could see that goaltending was going to be a key. And the standard, I think, was a little bit too much for Colin to make that jump from First Division last year into what I believed was kind of like a Premier Division. The top of the First Division last year was like the Premier. And I couldn't rely just on Colin and Nathan. So, you know, we signed Finney. That gave us a lot of confidence defensively.
The planning, the training, the team building had all been leading up to the season itself. The serious stuff to pit the wits on the ice. And what a start they had. The Billingham Bombers swept aside, caught up in a Manchester Storm in only their second game at the arena. David Smith was the first to find the goal and send the 9X Arena into raptures. Then Smith turned provider, Dale Jago crashing home. By now, the fans were learning their celebratory routines. And shortly after, they had the chance to party again. Smith scoring again. Jago was the provider as Mark Stokes was on hand to extend the Storm lead still further. James Manson was then left in the clear to weigh up his shot, which was finally turned in by Stokes for his second. The fans' dance steps were now well rehearsed and the goals kept on flowing. Tim Dempsey was next up, skating clear before coolly slotting home as the Storm ran riot and their fans, well, they just simply parted. David Smith was soon adding another goal, his third, before namesake Martin then added his name to the scoring list. Jago's assist count was growing, his shot causing the confusion before Stokes grabbed his hat-trick goal. Then enter free scoring Hilton Ruggles, who was to be the fans' #1 hero as the season progressed. A typical Ruggles finish there. His second goal was soon to follow, assisted by Messrs Jeff Lindsay and of course Jago. There was still time for Jago to grab his second, rounding off a glorious start to the era of the Storm.
A great crowd of almost 6,000 turned out for the game against the Paisley Pirates, and what a game they saw.
That was probably our biggest crowd to date. It was around 6,500 people. We weren't playing well initially. We were 7-3 down with about 10 minutes to go, and we tied 7-all, and if it went any further, we probably would have won because we had the momentum. But that was such an exciting game and a big occasion and a turning point, I think, from promoting the game. People came to that game and they just went away happy and said, Jesus, is that ice hockey? I want some more.
Moved out now to Dale Jago. He shoots. Oh, good stop. Great stop by Dave Rook. Shuts out the Storm. Here's Ruggles. Oh, he's hit the post. And Paisley have it. Mike Biddens away. Unlucky there, Ruggles. Biddens has a goal. Disaster. Colin Downey can't believe it. And Paisley score. The fans are really trying to lift the Storm now. But Paisley are in control and they've scored again. Danius Balber silencing the locals. But the visitors are in ecstasy. And there's a number who've made the trip down from Scotland. Now here's Roger Monson. The Pirates are well in control. And Manson's being left. But he shoots wide, fortunately, but it's not over yet. And Kenny Redmond has extended it to 4-0. Come on, Storm, cry the fans. Mark Stokes. Now Lipsy. 4-1. Hope for Manchester. Joy at last for these brilliant supporters. And they've a big part to play now. Big hit. And both men went tumbling. I'm not sure who came out the better. Jago's trying to get involved, and well, it's all gone a bit crazy in there. And the fans behind seem to be enjoying it. I'm not sure the players are that much. And I'm sure it'll end with 1 or 2 visits to the sin bin for, well, a whole host of players probably. Dean Smith, Vasilenko, there's panic. All sorts of panic, and Bauber it is, who's grabbed his second, 5-1 Paisley. And again, it's spilled into violence, but hopefully this one will be resolved a little bit quicker than the last one. Still seems to be a few smiles in there. The fans don't seem to be too perturbed by it either. Steve Barnes gliding up the right side of the arena. Now Jago. Oh, that's a cracker from Jago, 5-2. And when he hits a puck, the best advice is to get out of the way. And there's hope. Now Bittens. Oh, well, there wasn't much down he could do there. Well, it started off quite innocently, really, but it appears that both players want to swap the other's shirt before the game's over. And if I was one of the officials, I'd probably steer clear, but they're doing the best to stop them. Pirates building again. Good shot, but a good save by Downey, and that'll give him confidence. Hesitation, Vasilenko stolen it, and the Pirates have their 7th, and the crowd are stunned into silence again. An almighty scramble ends with Martin Smith scoring. Lawless goes tumbling. Ruggles! And Storm just 1 away now. The pressure's building. It's come in front, Smith, 7-all, the miracle comeback's complete.
The end of an already busy October, and Bracknell Bees were next on the menu.
Storm are leading, but the Bees are pressing again. And the visitors have levelled it up through Chris Brandt, 1-1. Now it opens up. Here's Stewart. Well, it's done more than open up. Stewart's given them the lead. Storm have it again. Smith crashing into the boards. Now Lindsay. That's been stopped, but Lipsy. Lipsy's got it. That's more like it, say these fans. Now with Jago. Patiently awaiting the right moment. Ruggles, Lindsay. Ruggles, I think it is. Steve Barnes. In total control. Now Lindsay. Oh, Rasper. They loved it. Jago. All the way. Pickles. When he was dwelling far too long, Ruggles has nicked it away. Lipsy scores. Storm have another. They're quite patient now. It's almost exhibition, and it's ended with another Lipsy goal. David Smith getting it back once more. Around the back, and Martin Smith scores.
So the new kids on the block were certainly making an impact. Second place to Blackburn Hawks, but definitely hot on their heels.
Blackburn Hawks were next to the arena, looking to end Manchester Storm's unbeaten record.
Blackburn they gave us a kick and they gave us a lesson. And it was the same sort of thing that we had to experience. I said, geez, we're not just going to walk this league. These guys want to beat us. There's a big rivalry.
Bob, the first goal is going to be one that's going to count, and could it be here now with the shot going in? Yes, it is. A brilliant effort there. The first goal coming after 34 seconds.
But he'll try and component that by shutting these guys down and letting Manchester's second line try and score the goals.
Well, and there it is. It is tipped in with Paul Fleury there, providing the final count, Bob. But just as you spoke, really, there they were. Barham trying to get the shot away. Chaos there. Could Ruggles get that in? And he does at the second attempt. Hilton Ruggles gets his second goal of the game. They failed to clear the rebound, and Blackburn paid the penalty. Manchester Storm 2, Blackburn Hawks 1. Both sides playing shorthanded. The chance, yes, the equaliser comes in there. A brilliant goal coming in, and that's so vital from Oleg Sinkov, producing his 36th league goal of the season. Smith comes back. Can Smith get the shot away? Dinks it once, tries and does. A brilliant goal there for Manchester Storm. Martin Smith's 19th of the season has made it Manchester Storm 3, Blackburn Hawks 3. Deep into the Storm defensive zone, and that's exactly what they're doing at a slow pace, getting out on the edge, and the shot is missed, but eventually turned in there by Cumew to grab his 12th league goal of the season and put Blackburn Hawks back in front. Haig has possession, the captain for Blackburn. Sinkov, and into there it is, and there goes that power play goal, and this time Chartrand it is who nets his second goal of the game. Here come the Storm pushing forward, broken down. Good bit of skating by Fleury against his old club, and it's going to count. Really there, Downey. Fleury got the shot away. It was really weak, but somehow it trickled over the line. And that's number 6 for the Blackburn Hawks. And Paul Fleury is second of the night. And that perhaps reflecting the scorelines. And there goes another one for Blackburn. Gives them a 4-goal margin. And really, that was hit in there by John Cotton.
This cannot help the side if they want to get themselves back into this game.
And they've got to win those face-offs as Barnes gets it on the edge of the blue line. And does! There's a goal back. Barnes to the blue line, firing it in. A marvellous and powerful shot kept low by Steve Barnes. His 3rd league goal of the season to make it Manchester Storm 4, the Blackburn Hawks 7. Get the shot away. Referee Pachelda gets involved in the action. Sinkov gets it out, and there goes the shot, and there's another goal coming the way of Blackburn. A power play goal from Cumew. Cumew's 2nd goal of the match has made it Storm 4, Hawks 8. For Blackburn, he has Chartrand with him. Sinkov floats in as well. And Sinkov gets the shot away to get his 3rd goal of the game, and 9 now for the Hawks. Sinkov is hitting them in thick and fast. Goals galore in this period, but unfortunately for Manchester Storm, most of them coming the way of Blackburn Hawks, who have the puck round behind the goal, and here comes another one. Yes, another goal. That is goal number 10, and really they're ripping the Manchester Storm apart. But no, away come the Hawks again. Pennycook. Yes, it's another goal. This is goal number 11, and really it's a riot.
And a very good indication of the way that the game has gone so far.
But Stokes pulls one back. A marvellous effort there on the break for Manchester Storm. Mark Stokes' 1st league goal of the season. Here we come. Smith away for Manchester Storm. Jago gets the shot away, and the rebound is tipped in there. In the end, a well-deserved goal by Dale Jago for Manchester Storm, grabbing their 6th. Cleared out to Cotton. Cotton sends his man away. Once again, the chance here. The shot goes in. Another goal coming the way of Blackburn Hawks. That one drilled home, a 3rd of the night. So, Jago in possession for the Storm. And yes, there is Jago getting number 7 for the Storm. His 1st goal of the game. Manchester Storm immediately scoring that power play goal. Milton Ruggles it is, scoring number 8 for the Storm and completing his hat-trick.
A bit of passing by this Manchester 2nd line.
Another penalty call. This time it's going to be a power play the way of the Manchester Storm, and it's Calmedo in there. A little bit of a punch-up.
So if we look at the table at the end of November, the Storm still in 2nd place to Blackburn Hawks, but with 2 games in hand, there's plenty of time to catch up.
The first week of December, and having learnt plenty from the Blackburn and Swindon experiences, the Storm were ready to wreak havoc on the unfortunate Billingham Bombers. They'd already been humiliated at the arena earlier in the season, of course, and the day was to be even worse as Darrell Lipsey got proceedings underway. Dale Jago then provided Hilton Ruggles with an opportunity he couldn't miss, before the Bombers got one of the few moments of joy in the game as Stephen Johnson found the net. But even in a game as one-sided as this one was becoming, the world's fastest team sport can always send a few players' tempers rising to boiling point and beyond. Martin Smith clearly demonstrating that he too likes the idea of shirt swapping before the match has ended. Christmas spirit, not on the ice. Normal service was soon resumed, Stephen Barton adding his name into the goal-scoring column, before Sean Byram added another after Hilton Ruggles' shot had been blocked. Jeff Lindsay's pass invited Dale Jago to crash in a beauty. There was plenty as ever to keep the crowd buzzing. Christmas 3 weeks away, already in high spirits. Darrell Lipsey was the next up, benefiting from the sterling efforts of Barton and the assist of Steve Barnes. Sean Byram then helped Hilton Ruggles onto the scoring roster, before those two were in tandem once more as the former found the Bombers' net. Before proceeding were rounded off by Martin Smith. A comprehensive evening for the Storm.
The Storm were really in the mood as 1995 ended, and the Murrayfield Royals were shown no mercy.
Lipsy to Barnes. Oh, that's a cracker! And the arena already into the party mood. Comes out to Barnes. Oh, and he's hit it right into the net. A beauty. Lawless in the clear. And he shows his team just how to finish. Nick Crawley, Steve Barnes, Sean Byram, and Barnes flips it in. Lawless, a miss hit by Barnes, but Lipsey benefits, and the Storm fans are going wild. And this crowd, well, they are royally entertained by the misfortunate Royals. Crawley. And it's been deflected in by Ruggles, I think. Well, it's gone a little bit overheated in the background there, and here we go. And I tell you what, in the middle of that mess is none other than John Lawless himself. Well, it shows you even the coach can get a little embroiled in the fiery passion of ice hockey. And I think he looks a touch embarrassed, John Lawless. I wonder how he'll explain that one to his teammates afterwards. Now Ruggles into Byram, and it's easy, casual as you like. Oh, goodness me, an enormous hit there. Nick Crawley sent crashing to the ground, and his fellow Mancunian Alan Hoff doesn't like it. In fact, none of the Storm teammates are pretty impressed with it either. And temper's getting a little frayed. And poor old Crawley, well, I think his face tells the story. That was a big hit, and he's been winded. Shot flies wide. Now Martin Smith coming round the back, and he'll score. Barnes. And still, oh, that's great stick work, and a wonderful goal. Lipsey turns, it's blocked. Round the back again, and Lipsey finds it this time. Now with Jeff Lindsay. Well, he's being allowed to go practically unchallenged all the way, and he's made the Royals pay.
So the table at the end of the year looked like this. The Storm were tying with Blackburn Hawks on 57 points, but with 2 games in hand.
New netminder John Finney was settling into the Storm, a real character on and off the ice.
I went down and had a look at him, and I just saw, I said, this is the guy we need. So I was pretty pleased that, that I was able to get him before anybody else knew about it.
I joined the Storm just before Christmas. I was in Chelmsford. I was only there 3 weeks before John Lawless came down and brought me up to Manchester. I really didn't know anything about Manchester, but it's obviously the place to play. I really enjoy it here. I actually didn't want to be a goaltender. I was quite a good forward when I was 6 years old, I thought, anyway. And the coach told me, John, you're going to have to play goalie or quit. And that was pretty traumatic for me when I was 6 years old. I thought I was good, but everybody thinks you're good. But how bad can you be when you're 6 years old, right? I was traumatized. So I was a goalie, and then here I am now. So I guess I could be thankful for it, but at the time I was pretty distraught. My dad was a professional footballer. He played for St. Mirren up in Scotland, so he always emphasized to me how much fun it was to play professional sports. So it's either that or I'd have to get a real job. Goaltenders are labeled as a different breed altogether anyway. We have to be sometimes let people shoot pucks at us 100 miles an hour and hit us in the head. So it affects you a little bit.
Oh, nice one. Oh, Vinny's flying now. Well, might as well.
That's why they call me Johnny Vegas.
First visitors to set foot in the 9X Arena in 1996 were Tigers of Telford, including one Mark Pallister, who was to join the Storm later in the season. It was the Storm, though, who gained the early initiative. Sean Byram on target. The Tigers, though, retained a foothold, Gary Clark proving too elusive for Colin Downey. The tenacity of Hilton Ruggles was then much in evidence. His shot, though, just off target. Martin Smith, though, benefiting from the rebound. But once again, the Telford Tigers set about silencing the crowd. Claude Dumas skating clear to score. Tigers netminder Barry Hollyhead was left exposed, and despite stopping Darryl Livesey, he couldn't halt Martin Smith. A slip counter involving John Lawless and Simon Ferry then gave Livesey a goal. And the fans had hardly managed to settle back down again before Messrs Livesey and Lawless were combining again for the latter to finish sweetly. To their credit, the Tigers never gave up, and soon Phil Butler had reduced the arrears. Before the last word was spoken by Martin Smith, courtesy of Ruggles' assist. Another win for the Storm and their ever-growing enthusiastic posse of fans.
And those fans were soon to be served up a goal feast on their banqueting table as the Solihull Barons were devoured.
Jago, Barton, it's gone in. Now here's Byron. Cheered on by the fans and finding the goal. Lindsay from behind his own net. Now David Smith, it's opening up. Neat little flick and it's in the goal. Martin Smith still allowed to retain possession, a little bit of a sweep round the goal and the finish. And this is turning into another special night out at the 9X Arena. Byron finds Ruggles and Ruggles finds the goal. Ruggles. Byron returns it back and Ruggles scores again. Livesey. Jago, it has found its way in. Livesey marks Stokes and David Smith scores. Barton, deflection came out and Lindsay smacked it in. Barton, well, he hit Sosha. Sosha didn't like it, and Sosha looking for retribution, and well, Barton standing up to the challenge, and it's still going on. The officials letting them get on with it and choosing the right moment to get in without themselves getting caught with a swaying arm. The argument still going on involving Ruggles, and now Lindsay's getting involved. Well, it's a little bit messy up there just at the moment. What are the fans thinking about that? In particular, Monsieur Cantona. Wouldn't get that in football, I don't think. Byron, Martin Smith, Ruggles. I think the final touch was from Byron. Now this was the save that Downey made just a few moments earlier. Point blank range, all reflex. That is superb. And he won't mind having another look at that one when he sees the end of season video either. Lindsay, Livesey, and Crawley. I thought it had been halted, but Crawley followed up. Now then, it's just got a bit messy over there. Barton again seems to be the man at the heart of it. Andy Ayres is the man that is defending himself, and the referee took a tumble as well. And at last, Messrs Highway and Slater seem to have split that little contretemps apart. And they'll both go and have a cooling down period, and somebody else might be joining them, Dale Jago. And, well, the crowd behind loving that. And it's a little bit of a sandwich with the referees on either side of the players. And in the end, they've prized away the big Canadian. who is demonstrating rather graphically his displeasure at what went on before. Byron finds Lindsay right in front, and the Storm have another. Mark Stokes. David Smith, Lipsy. It's all getting a bit too easy, but they're not bothered. They're positively loving this. All ages, both sexes, anything goes at the 9X.
And this was the British League Division 1 table they were looking for. Manchester Storm riding high with a lead of 17 points.
Into February and enter John and Hilton's former side, the Cardiff Devils.
An enjoyable experience was beating Cardiff 3-2 at home in the challenge game, because I know all those players and they could just say, oh, it was a challenge game, but they don't want to lose. Those guys don't like to lose in scrimmage during practice. And then plus the fact that, you know, Hilton and I have come from Cardiff.
The Devils took the early initiative. Steve Moria, Shannon Hope and finally Greg Ware finding the Manchester net. The higher division outfit showing all their canny know-how. They would soon have been further ahead but for the agility of John Finney denying Randy Smith. And as if inspired by their netminder's example, the Storm found a way back. David Smith to Darryl Lipsy, and it was 1-1. The Storm support were being shown clearly that their side could cope with even the mighty Cardiff Devils. Even better was to come as the home side pulled away. Lipsy grabbing his second with a lovely solo move that even had the Storm squad themselves in delight. The fans were simply revelling in the performance. Soon there was to be even more to celebrate as the Storm opened up a 2-goal cushion, Sean Byram stealing in. Delirium set in. Ivan Matulik may have provided hope for the visitors with a goal late on, but it proved to be only a consolation. The Storm had overcome the Devils, top division opposition sent packing, and notice served to everyone that they could match the very best. Much had been learned that evening. It proved without a shadow of a doubt that that friendly was a most valuable exercise, certainly a lesson for the future. Never a side to rest on their laurels, the Storm added to their squad, recruiting the huge presence of Mark Pallister, a cousin of Manchester United centre-half Gary, and the opportunity to reacquaint himself with a family member.
It's obviously now, you know, I've joined the Manchester Storm and Gary's a firm favourite with the Manchester fans, you know, at United, so hopefully we'll get a lot more chance to, you know, see each other now and maybe just grab a drink together.
We're both big lads and maybe, you know what I mean, a bit of a physical presence about us. Mine not as quite so much as Mark's. I mean, I think he's 17 stone and I think he might even be a little bit taller than me. But yeah, we're both defenders and it'd be great if Mark's a big success with the Manchester Storm.
When he became available from Telford, we had to snap him up because that gave us that sort of another dimension physically. You know, he's got a physical presence out there that gives himself and his teammates a lot of space. And, you know, a lot of other teams start thinking twice about, well, we've got a lot of talent, so let's knock them off their game. They'll think twice about it when they think the Pallister's out in the ice. He doesn't go out looking for trouble, but he actually calms the situation down.
The Bracknell Bees then strode into town for the second time and left empty-handed.
Here's Ruggles, allowed to continue going. And finding Smith! Martin Smith with a goal! Mike Ellis. Matt Coate got the touch, and it's 1-1. Sean Byram going all the way round the net and hooking it in. 2-1 to the Storm. Jago Ruggles on the turn. That was a good save, but Ruggles has followed in. And it's Brian Wilkie who is taking the challenge. It's a big hit by Ruggles, and Wilkie took great exception. And Ruggles will go to the sin bin. There's Byron. And still, great control, and there's Ruggles, and it's 3-1. And they enjoyed it, didn't they? Everyone enjoying themselves. Byram again, and Ruggles. And it's getting easier and easier now, and these fans are partying as usual. Enormous hit by Pallister. Well, he's certainly introduced himself to the fans, hasn't he? He's sure to be proving a popular figure around the 9X arena. Now then, comes out to Wilkie. It's a good save, but it's gone in from Mark Finney, and it's 4-2, and the visitors have something to cheer about now. Doing their best to outshout the vociferous home support. Jason Coles catching Jeff Lindsay, and Lindsay didn't like it, and the two are squaring up, but seems to have sorted itself out before the officials even arrived there. And I think Messrs Coles and Lindsay are going to go to the sin bin without even being told to do so. The Chelmsford Chieftains made their way up from Essex, and perhaps were soon wishing that they hadn't bothered. Mind you, they did get a bright start when Carl Goebel put them ahead, but it was short-lived. Sean Byram then combined with Martin Smith to score, and parity had soon been restored. Jeff Lindsay, David Smith and Darryl Lipsey then joined forces to put the Storm ahead. But the Chieftains weren't for lying down. Dean Birrell assisting Alexei Kuznetsov. Storm duly responded to their rather audacious opponents. Dale Jago picking out Sean Byram, who picked out the goal. The Storm then began to tick, and the visitors had no answer to the onslaught. First, Hilton Ruggles obliging. Then he was adding further to his and the Storm's tally with another one. Darryl Lipsey was then the next up, presented with an opportunity right in front of goal, which was actually turned into his own net by Mark Salisbury. Once you're caught in a storm, there's no let-up, and Ruggles added to the Chieftains' woe. Another typical example of the master poacher. When the visitors did break the tightening shackles, they found the alert Colin Downey in miserly mood. While at the other end, the likes of Dale Jago and co were in a ruthless demeanour, as the fans bayed joyously for more. The Storm seldom disappoint their loyal fans, and soon they were adding to their joy. Mark Stokes responding to Ruggles' approach work to close another glorious home display. The Storm's reputation for first-class entertainment was growing. The Blackburn Hawks arrived to a cauldron of anticipation. A win would give the home side the championship. His team were keen to avenge that early season reverse, and they were soon underway, a Dale Jago special. Though John Haig put the visitors back in the game, the extra steel and grit that had now been added to the squad was certainly much in evidence. The equaliser himself, Mark Pallister, could strike fear into the bravest of gladiators' hearts. The Storm fans were warming to their heroes, who had not sacrificed any of their polished flair in attack either. Byram scoring lethally. The shotgun himself, Jago, added another, despite all the attempts of the subsiding Hawks' resistance. And revenge was soon coming for the Storm Troopers. The fans, they were loving it. Soon after, they had yet another goal to celebrate. Darryl Lipsey's break. Martin Smith on target. There wasn't long to wait for the next. Byram from in front after Jeff Lindsay's shot had been saved. The fans were already preparing for the championship lap of honour, but the goals, they kept on a-coming. Lipsey then added another, as the Storm were more than making up for that early season reverse. The visitors did get on the score sheet again, Simon Mills linking up with Oleg Sinkov to give the scoreline a little more respectability. But back came the Storm, almost inevitably. The next goal came courtesy of a netminder error. Ian Young letting in Mark Stokes for the simple opportunity. It even sent the big bananas into raptures. Next up, Smith, Barnes the provider, and a chance to wrap up the show. And with that win was final confirmation of the title, British League Division 1 champions in their inaugural year of existence.
To come forward to collect the British League Division 1 Championship trophy on behalf of the entire team, on behalf of the All Sports sponsored Manchester at number 73, Dave Smokey Smith. Medals as well for John Crawley, the assistant manager, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause for John. And ladies and gentlemen, where would we be tonight without this man, the general manager and coach, John Rollins! Once again, here they are, the All Sports sponsored Manchester
So there it is. As if proof were needed, Manchester Storm, League Division 1 champions. The new kids on the block became number 1.
Oh, Huffy, where's my kit gone?
The gaffer's taking it. He's giving it away as the major prize in the competition for the end of the season video.
Oh, well, if that's the case, I'm going to enter. What have I got to do?
It's simple. I've chosen what I think are 10 of the best goals, hits, and saves of the season. Now all you need to do is match Hilton, Pally, and Finney's favorite 3 in the correct order, and their prize is yours.
Hi, I've just seen some great goals scored at the Storm Shelter. If you can pick out the same 3 that I've picked, you can win this great signed hockey stick. Good luck.
To win this great shirt, all you've got to do is choose the top 3 hits of last year, which I have already done. Good luck.
I've just seen some great saves. If you can pick out the top 3, as I've done, you can win this fantastic signed stick.
Send your entries to this address together with your name, daytime telephone number and address. Remember, match either the top 3 goals, hits or saves in the right order to win signed memorabilia. Or as a bonus, match all 9 in the right order to win a complete Storm ice hockey kit, including boots, pads, shorts, stick, helmet and a shirt featuring your name and number. Closing date for entries, the 31st of December 1996. Now a chance to meet Hilton Ruggles and Dale Jago, neighbours at their homes in Sale.
See, if they paid me enough money, I'd have a maid to do this for me. Dale Jago just lives next door, and I end up taking care of him, and Finney and a few others always come around. I got to cook them meals and that, so it's, actually when I go home, it's an easier life than being here. Maybe once a week, I cook something up for him, or he pops around for a cup of tea or coffee, but if he has any domestic problems, I sort it out. I guess I'm a little older than him, and I get the experience of living alone and being away from home and that, so I help him out. But it's all part of the game. I don't mind doing it. Actually, I'm the oldest player outside of John Lawless on the team, and I've always said if I ever become the oldest player on the team, I'd retire. But I like the 9X Arena, so I'm going to play for a few more years.
Yeah, we live next door. I think I look after him a bit more than he thinks I do, though.
This was their 29th consecutive win.
It ain't easy.
No.
11-3 the final score.
That's me.
The celebrations were unrehearsed.
Yeah. You want to rewind? Watch. Watch, look. What are the black guys on the team?
11-3 the final score. The celebrations were unrehearsed.
Look at that stooge.
He needs a haircut.
Champagne on ice.
There's Ernie.
A team of
Oops.
superstars. We selected Dale
How
Jago
cool he
for
is.
this week's fact file.
Hey, oh, jeez.
Hilton's worst habit? Well, there's about quite a few. Oh, he's always on the phone, for one. Always on the phone. He also took my ironing board and my iron like 4 months ago and still hasn't brought it back. Like stuff like that. Oh, he's also in charge of our lottery syndicate. We're the only syndicate running for 35 weeks. We have 18 guys and we haven't won yet. Now you figure it out. I don't know what's going on. I think we've won 10 quid. I don't know if he just doesn't report it or what. And doesn't take anything serious. Thinks it's just a good time. That's about his worst habit. But that's about it. We could go on for quite a while, but those ones come to mind.
He only has one problem. He doesn't have a wardrobe. That's it. He's only got one set of Sunday clothes, and every game, every home game, he wears the same stuff. But then he got a shirt from his mom for Christmas, so now he's got two.
Shirts.
He's got 2 now. So that's why he doesn't need his ironing board and his iron.
Oh well. Can't afford to buy new clothes like that.
Listen,
Yeah,
I'm going to defend myself on this lottery scam. We've had many weeks where we've won 10 pounds or 20 pounds, and they get upset if I got to ask them for a pound every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But we won maybe altogether maybe about 200 quid, but then that just goes on to the other weeks and that. So they're very forgetful when they don't have to give me a pound every Saturday, but they just get upset. Like I said, Dale loves his money, and he hates parting with a pound every few weeks for the lottery.
You're right. That's why you're always eating out.
Really close-knit team because everyone lives within about a 2-mile radius, so it's easy to just nip over to one another's houses or to go to one player's house, you got to pass another one at. So, if you're speaking to him that week, you don't avoid his house. If you're not speaking to him, you go the other way and avoid him, But we really get along well off the ice, and that it shows when we, at game days, we know one another. We really enjoy one another's company, so we don't argue that much, only if it's pertaining to either lottery money or excuses why we lost, and that's our main problem, is who gets the blame when we lose a game.
March the 10th, the playoffs. Slough Jets visiting the arena. It's 15 minutes to the face-off and tension mounts.
Guys, let's get ready. Let's go, homie. What do you got in there, a horse? Is the camera showing you or what?
Fix it up in here.
10 minutes later, he comes out. Okay, guys, listen up. If you're gonna get dressed, do it quietly. Okay, Lipper, the lines. Okay, we all know we think they're gonna go with 3 lines. If they're gonna go with 3, we have got to go with 3, right? And you guys, 3rd line, have got to do the job. The first line, Grattan, Higdon, Stefan, and on D, they've got Grech, Flanagan, and the other 2 D are Mason and Ross. I'm not sure how they're going to work it, but I look at it, all those 4 D are pretty weak skaters, apart from Grech. These guys aren't used to this ice surface, okay? Move the puck and move it wide. I think the keys for this game, 5-on-5 is a must, okay? They scored a lot of goals in the Premier on the power play. And on the power play, they rely on Grattan a lot for his big shot. Remember that game, how we played against Cardiff? Remember the intensity. Remember how we wanted it. Remember how we wanted the 50-50s. That's how we got to be, guys. And then we'll start to burn these guys. We'll bury them. But the key is defense, right from the bat, and that means 50-50s.
John Lawless's words came true pretty quickly, but Johnny Vegas Finney was in fine form, taking a super catch. Nick Crawley, though, didn't fare as well later in the game when he tangled with Slough's David Heath, who went down and then he went out.
Can I play on?
It's conjured in nicely.
Yeah.
You feel up to it,
I think I'm right.
I don't think you feel this, Nick, okay? Because it's. Can you feel that much?
Slightly, so I carry on.
That's it. Cut it about ½ an inch. Bit shorter, that's okay.
I don't think it'll ruin your good looks, Nick, love.
No, the girls will still love you.
The face more interesting.
Meanwhile, back on the ice, Sean Byram was lining up something special. It went across to Dale's shotgun Jago, who zipped it across to Martin Smith, and Martin polished it off. That was 1 goal ahead, and the Storm fans went wild. Into the second period, second goal coming up, a move from Mark Pallister across to Hilton Ruggles, who brings it back for Mark Stokes to finish it off. And that gave Slough certainly a hill to climb. Into the third period, and the Storm still 2 goals up. Martin Smith there, getting a third. And it was in the third period that Slough started to fight back. This one from Rob Coots, which gave the Slough supporters something to cheer about.
It's got to go out! Right from the draw. We win the draw and he takes it back. And that's it! Hold up, hold up! Pally! Pally, don't take it back! Wins and draw out!
Despite John Lawless's remonstrations, the next one came from Slough pretty quickly. This one down to Kyle Dolman. For the last 4.5 minutes, the scoreline stayed the same. A conclusive win for the Storm in the first game of the playoffs. Well, you may say first blood to the Storm. Should it be first blood to Nick Crawley? It left him battered, but happy.
It was a big game for this club, and I kind of felt it difficult initially trying to express that to the players because I think they already knew it. But I was a little bit more concerned that I knew they could raise it to the next level, and I think we saw that tonight. A little concerned that they scored 2 goals when we were 3-0 up, because it's going to be tough when we go down there. But we won and we got the 2 points.
As it transpired, he needn't have worried about the Storm. They were even more emphatic winners at Slough. The Jets may have been the side from the top division, but Manchester was certainly not in awe of their seniors as they travelled down to meet their destiny.
Take your jacket off.
Alright. I'm sweating though.
Take your jacket off.
Man, I'm going to go take it off.
Hopefully my wife's not watching this. That's our Florida money. Oh! That's the Florida money, honey.
You guys know, but I rolled the 2. This game's in protest.
I didn't even say it.
But I did. It hit. It was my 2. You guys are cheating me.
I don't know. I don't believe you.
No, it's okay. You guys want to cheat. We know who's going to win Canada Day.
Oh, look at that. 4 of a kind.
4 of a kind. 4 of a kind. 4 of a kind.
22. Doesn't rival the 29 though, you know?
Yes, he does.
If you guys cheat me, you know, I'm upset now. You cheat me. Because I rolled the 2. The 2 was there.
I didn't say.
There wasn't a 2, then I rolled the 2, there was a 2.
But
I had to scratch up my 1.
You still never had a high streak, because I did. We had 2 1s.
But it bounced.
Well, there you go.
But it was there, so the 2 was up, though.
If you want to play what you had.
Wow, look at the 2s, boys. Get in for the Yahtzee coming here now.
I mean, this camera's bringing me bad luck.
Sean Byron will mostly kill me for this, but we called into services a couple of weeks ago, and he asked what was with the fish pie. Was it beef, a chicken? And it was obviously it was a fish pie. So he got a bit of a ribbing about that.
Though Manchester Storm had clinched the Division 1 title, it was in effect only half the job done. To gain promotion involves victory in the promotion playoffs. A 4-team round robin with games home and away against Premier Division bottom side Slough Jets and 2 Division 1 representatives, Swindon Wildcats and Dumfries Vikings.
Hang on. No pictures, please. I'm a criminal.
Boys, we gotta be ready from the get-go, eh?
They're not even gonna show up.
So the game away at Slough, not quite the glamour of the 9X Arena Manchester, but it's what happens on the ice that counts. And count it did. First one coming up, Dale Jago. That's why they call him Shotgun. And the Storm supporters were on their feet again very shortly. Nice move coming up from Sean Byron. He got it across to Steve Barnstormer Barnes. A deflection, but then Hilton the poacher was on target yet again.
They weren't even in our end.
When they dump it in, if they're coming in and they don't ring it on the boards, they dump it straight in.
Yeah.
Everybody hold the guy up, because they're going to dump it in and try and go by you and look for a rebound coming off.
And
just keep going.
Stokesy said to me one time, Jeff, he's in the lane, right? And he says, now a guy cuts across. I want Stokesy to stay in the lane so you can take the middle. And let him know. Say, I got the lane. Guy coming in the middle, right? Just something like that.
Somebody else is going to come into that lane.
Yeah, they'll fill it.
Same with you, Davey. If you're on your winger and your winger says to that lane.
The longer it's like this, they're going to be desperate, right? They're going to panic.
They're going to get crazy.
Yeah.
I want a direct pass.
Let's go, boys. What'll work?
I want a direct pass.
The gloves were off in the second period. David Smith and Carl Dolman, handbags at 14 paces.
I guess it got a bit rough there for a wee second, and my mate Smitty just sorted them out big time.
Into the third period at Slough, and Dale Jago wraps it up, leaving the fans and the players jubilant.
Smitty feeding the guy.
Hey, game so many times he doesn't go back, guys.
7-2 wasn't even close. Wasn't even fucking
Disneyland, we're going, Disneyland.
Work it, work it, work it.
Boys, let's clinch her tomorrow night.
Hey, work it. Oh, you don't fucking wheeze. Oh my God, what a great summer.
It's, you know, we've clinched it tonight by the sounds of it. We've, you know, Slough have lost 2 now. Nobody's going to catch us now. We're not going to slip up. Virtually in the bag. Tomorrow, yeah, we'll win tomorrow. We'll win on the road. We've done a hard job tonight. So, job well done.
Defeat, though, at Dumfries put the issue back into question. Victory over Swindon now essential.
Only as good as our last game.
That's right.
Come on, guys, let's start another winning streak. Let's pick it up, Stokesy? We got to look at what did the second line do on Sunday? You know, I could have went to the third. Yeah. Right? And we'll need you on Sunday. All right? Go back to the basics.
The Storm took instant control. Alan Huff feeding Stefan Barton. In a season of free goal scoring, it's easy to forget the defence. And in particular, the poor old netminder. Colin Downey and John Finney had been in great form all year. And not surprisingly, that night was no different. When Swindon did find the net, there was invariably little that anyone could do. At the other end, Storm ventured ruthlessly onward. Hilton Ruggles assisting Sean Byram. Before Ruggles himself then found an opening of his own and duly obliged with the finish. Despite the scoreline though, perfectionist Lawless wanted more.
Not even breaking out as a unit, eh? Everybody's thinking we're just going to go down and score. Come on, break out as a unit, play defense first. Come on.
Lawless' demands for more were soon satisfied. Byram setting up Mark Stokes. But then they had to do without the services of star man Dale Jago for almost the rest of the game. He injured his arm in that collision, and despite every attempt to shut out the pain, he was unable to continue effectively. With a hard man like Jago, if he sits it out, you can rest assured that there's a problem. Without him, the Wildcats then ironically maintained a little respectability as Yari Vertinen found the Storm goal. It merely added to the statistics for the evening as the Mancunians rallied again. First, Sean Byram confirming their superiority, and then Ruggles finishing the job.
The guy hit me from behind. I kind of got a little angry.
What happened to your wrist?
Goof. I rolled over on it, and I don't know. Just all my weight went on my wrist. If I wouldn't have it taped, I don't know what. Just. I don't know why they've always pick on me. I'm not a bad guy.
Well, I'm glad the playoffs are almost over. I can get a shave and a haircut. Get a little bonus money. This is my buddy Oglethorpe. Ogie Oglethorpe. Oglethorpe.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of the team, but you know, I was brought in for one reason, that's to chase people around the ice, you know. Yeah, and once the playoffs are over, I can get a haircut and a shave.
And so, on to the final home fixture of the 95-96 campaign. Promotion to Super League almost confirmed. The only other quest now was to attempt to fill the magnificent arena, and by doing so, break the existing British ice hockey attendance record. The gates opened, and the fans swarmed in. As for the game itself, it was against the only side to have inflicted playoff defeat, the Dumfries Border Vikings. In fact, it was only the Storm's third reverse of the entire season. The attendance figure to beat was 12,386, set by the Storm. And that record, like every other target set by them, was also met as an incredible 16,000 plus packed into 9X. Dale Jago got the scoring underway, heralded in typical lively fashion by the fans. Then Mark Stokes gave David Smith an easy opportunity, but the Border Vikings decided to do their utmost to spoil the party, putting themselves back into the contest, which, although it would not affect the Storm's promotion hopes, certainly didn't please perfectionist Lawless.
20 seconds to go in the period. You never get scored on in the last minute. I put the first line out there because our first line's better than theirs. They get a goal. We're 5 feet from the blue line. We don't get it in. We're trying too many pretty plays. We got too much talent. It'll happen if you stick to the basics. Come on, Shoot, drive to the net, rebound, gone, goal. But if you want to start thinking, well, we are great, we should be playing in front of 17,000 people, then maybe you should be playing in the NHL. Really. Go back to the basics and bury these guys. Come on, guys, it's our last game.
It speaks volumes of Lawless that his attitude demands such commitment. His side responded to his promptings too. Hilton Ruggles in particular seemed so much more hungry after the rallying call. Benefiting in particular from the assistance of his neighbour Dale Jago, whose rebounded shot fell kindly for him. The fans had been treated to a championship display, worthy reward for their enthusiastic loyalty. Inevitably, the boisterous atmosphere transmitted itself onto the ice. Skipper Jeff Lindsay getting to grips with Border Vikings Lee Mercer. But once the temperature had lowered somewhat, the Storm got back to their fluent ways. Jago with another shotgun special. Even by their marvellous standards, the Stormforce party was even livelier than normal. The fans, it seemed, had bettered themselves game by game. The Vikings may have had the final word in scoring terms. Their fans even had the audacity to bravely display their colours, despite being heavily outnumbered and completely out-chanted. All that was really left now was the countdown to the end of an unforgettable first season for the Storm. No sporting side could ever have claimed to have made such a remarkable impact in their first year of existence. From an idea on a blank piece of paper to Division 1 champions and playoff victors, a dream had become glorious reality. The fans celebrated long into the night, all in praise of the magnificent team that John built.
See, great team, great crowd, great city. You can't lose when you got that combination.
It's been a long year, but we did what we had to do. Look at this crowd. Unbelievable. It's been great. Can't wait till next year. Usually I'm just going, the season's over. But it's like a relief too, because we're expected to get promotion. It's done, but now start planning for next year. It's simple. I've chosen what I think are 10 of the best goals, hits, and saves of the season. Did I say that right? Yes. 10 of the best?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Now all you need to do is match Hilton's, Pally's, and Finney's 3 favorites. Cut. Now all you need to do is match Hilton, Pally, and Finney's 3 favorites. Now all you need to do is match Hilton, Pally, and Finney's favorite 3 in the correct order, and their prize is yours. Woo! I'm out of here.
Hi, some great goal. Whoa, there's the mic.
All you've got to do is choose the best 3 hits of the season, which I've already done. And
He's got me out there, my me.
I've just seen some great saves. If you can pick out the top 10. Oh,
Hi, some great goals. You can win this hockey stick if you pick the top 3 goals. Oh man.
Awful.
Hi, I just. No, I want to. What are we waiting for?
You!
Click. Action.
They're out of tape, homie.